Hey everyone, this is Vanis McLean with Brain Drain Unlimited. Tonight we're going to do something a little bit different from our typical newsroom. Uh, Tonight we're going to count down the 10 biggest immigration rumors. You've seen them in headlines, in group chats, and in comment sections. I'll translate each one in plain English. What's rumor, what's real, and why it matters for families, communities, and the country. Let's dive in. At number 10, America has open borders. There is no vetting. You'll hear that the US lets people in without checks. In reality, most journeys touch multiple layers of screening, from consular officers when someone applies for a visa, inspections at airports and land ports, and security checks when people apply for an immigration benefit. Do some people cross unlawfully? Yes, but open borders suggest no gatekeepers at all, and that's simply not how the system is built. Number 9, just say asylum and you're in. Asylum isn't a password, it's a legal case. People have to pass initial screening, file evidence, and convince a judge or an officer that they meet a specific definition of persecution. Many claims are denied. Some people wait under supervision, some are detained, and almost everyone faces long timelines. It's a hard process, not an automatic pass. I just want to add here that I think I once said that there are limits on asylum visas. Technically, there are no limits, but practically, it's as if you were in a Costco and you're in the Costco with about maybe 500 to 1,000 people, but there's only one cashier to check you out. The lines are long, and quite frankly, your ice cream will melt before you finish paying for everything. So, number 8, refugees and asylum seekers get big checks for life. Assistance exists, but is short term and designed to push people towards self sufficiency. Think orientation, a little rental help, case management, English classes, job search support. Refugees even repay their travel loans. There is no lifetime paycheck for newcomers. Number 7, immigrants don't pay taxes and live off benefits. Most immigrants pay taxes in multiple ways: at the cash register, on their paychecks, and indirectly through rent that covers property taxes. Many major federal benefits are limited to citizens or require long waiting periods. People without lawful status are usually barred from federal means tested programs. The they don't pay in idea just doesn't line up with how taxes and eligibility actually work. Number 6, more immigration means more crime. Large studies consistently find that immigrants, on average, offend at lower rates than the US born population, and places with more immigrants don't automatically see higher violent crime trends because of immigration. Crime is real and it's painful wherever it happens, but blaming immigration broadly isn't supported by the best available data. Number 5, immigrants steal jobs and push wages down. The labor market isn't a simple one-for-one swap. Effects depend on skills, sectors, and geography. Across the economy, the average wage impact is small, and immigrants often complement, not replace, US workers. Entrepreneurship and innovation can expand the pie, creating new jobs rather than just slicing existing ones thinner. Number 4, immigrants refuse to learn English or assimilate. Walk into any adult education center and you'll see the opposite. There are wait lists for English classes, and the second generation tends to be English dominant. Naturalization also requires English and civics for most adults. Integration is a process, But the idea that people won't engage simply doesn't match what classrooms and communities see every day. Number three, and this is what inspired this, you can buy a US passport now. Trump's new gold visa makes you a citizen. This is where rumor and reality collide. You may have heard talk about a gold card or golden visa concept associated with the Trump administration. An expedited route for people who make a very large financial contribution to the United States. Here's the key. Even if such a program exists, and it does not, or rolls out, and I believe it will not roll out, it would not grant instant citizenship. At most, it could create a faster path to lawful permanent residence for certain high net worth applicants, still with background checks and the usual steps that lead to citizenship years later. If you want something to compare to, think of the long-standing EB-5 investor program. That ties permanent residence to a job-creating investment that meets strict rules. A gold card idea shifts the mechanism, a significant gift or contribution versus a job-creating investment. But it wouldn't be a passport for cash shortcut. Bottom line, beware of anyone promising to buy a passport now. That is not how the U.S. citizenship works. When this program was first mentioned, I think it inspired 70,000 people across the world to sign up for a waiting list. And they'll be waiting. They'll be waiting quite some time. The Commerce Secretary, Howard Lutnick, said in an interview, I think published by Forbes, that 1,000 actually paid. Well, he hinted that 1,000, and I think the rumors grew from that 1,000 people actually paid. In reality, no one has paid 1 penny towards a gold visa as of today. All right, number 2. All skilled visas are now pay to play. It's true you'll hear proposals, fees, and high dollar headlines thrown around, and policies can change quickly. But the notion that every high skilled visa suddenly requires 6 figures isn't accurate. Visa categories have different rules, cost, and criteria. Some initiatives may add new fees or hurdles. Others remain unchanged. The safest practice is to check the current instructions for the specific category you care about and to be skeptical of blanket statements. I can attest to that I did see the $100,000 fee being charged to those with the H-1B, which is a temporary visa, and I think I saw the E3. Here at Brain Drain, we concentrate mostly on the EB-1 and the EB-2. We do deal with other visa categories, but even with that, there are ways that you can structure it that the fee is not, it's not mandatory or not collectible. It doesn't apply in those categories. Number 1, there is a coordinated plan to replace Americans with immigrants. This is a conspiracy story, not a public policy. Demographics shift because of birth rates, aging, the economy, and immigration that's openly debated in Congress. People can disagree about where to set the levels and how to enforce the rules. That's politics. But the idea of a secret replacement plot is designed to inflame, not inform. We do better as neighbors and problem solvers when we keep this one out of our heads and out of our hearts. Quick, frequently asked questions. Why do backlogs exist? Annual visa caps collide with demand and limited processing capacity. I think I already mentioned there is a cap on the EB-1 program. There's a cap on the employment-based program. The total cap is 140,000, approximately 140,000 per year. It's broken down to 7% per country, which I think is probably going to be somewhere around 9,000. And then for the main 2 categories, you're looking at maybe about 28 to 2,800 to 3,000 for the EB-1 and the EB-2. But this is by country. So I can tell you that India and China, yeah, they have long waits. But nobody else in the top 10 is even at halfway at capacity, even at, I think if anything, maybe Brazil and Mexico get close, but that's about it. All right. Why do some people try between ports? That is, if you don't get in through one way, one airport, you try and get through another one. Okay. There's desperation, limited appointments, and you have that issue where you have to set up an appointment on your cell phone, and when that appointment is in, then you can cross and talk to a Customs and Border Patrol officer. All right, so you have desperation, you have limited appointments, and bad advice from smugglers, none of which cancels the law. Why can a case take years? Well, that's evidence-heavy review, court dockets, and statutory limits. The monthly visa bulletin controls the pace for many green card categories. As I stated, there are approximately, I think the numbers I've seen is 14 million people undocumented in the United States today. If they are all trying to get asylum, asylum only has the capacity to maybe handle 50,000 in a year. So just do the math and you'll see that it's decades. And the other programs, the employment-based or whatever, as I said, for the population-rich countries such as India and China, yes, they fill up fast, but it's the same numbers no matter whether you're in, you get 3,000 EB-1 applicants from India. You get 3,000 EB-1 applicants from the Vatican. They each have the same number, although the Vatican does not have nearly 1 billion people. All right. In closing, rumors travel fast. Real facts move lives. Share this with someone who's confused or curious. If you want to help, support English classes, legal clinics, and navigator programs that turn good information into good outcomes. And if you're personally in the process, always double check the latest guidance on official government pages before making decisions. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one briefing.
Thanks for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed this and maybe even learned something new. If you did, don't just vanish into the algorithm. Hit like, subscribe, and follow us on social. It's the easiest way to support our work and make sure you never miss what's next. Want to stay in the loop without relying on big tech's mood swings? Sign up for our monthly newsletter. And if you've got the means, donations of any size keep our programs running strong. As a 501c3, your gift is tax deductible where the law allows. Together, we can turn brain drain into America's next big breakthrough.